Well, hello everybody. My name is the Reverend Sarah Godfrey and I'm one of the team vicars in the Golden Cap team. In fact, I'm very new because we only moved to Lyme Regis at the beginning of September. And what a glorious time to move in, because September, the weather was just perfect, wasn't it? And I'm still sitting in my dining room and looking at the sea and thinking I'm on holiday because there's that fabulous view. When we arrived, we did a lot of exploring and a lot of walking on the footpaths and along the beautiful Jurassic coast. And on one of the days we were walking, we decided that we needed to go up Golden Cap, and we walked up from the Chinook side and sat on the slope and looked at the most glorious view. You could hear the waves on the shingle, and the sea was bright blue because it was reflecting from the sun, and the whole landscape looked alive. I don't know if you've had one of those moments where you've looked at a beautiful piece of scenery, or perhaps it's a piece of music or some poetry, and it's really spoken to you. You've had one of those sort of awe moments. Well, I sat on the slope looking at the view down across the sea. It was one of those moments when I thought about God and creation, and I just wanted to thank him for how wonderful it was. And also in the back of my mind, it was, I hope that this is here so that if I get any grandchildren, they'll be able, when they're my age, to enjoy this wonderful landscape that we live in. So yesterday when I was at Charmouth and we were doing a communion service, I was really struck with some of the words that we say in one of our Eucharistic prayers. And I'm just going to read it for you because it was one of those moments again when I thought, oh, maybe God is here. Went like this. Lord of all life, you created the universe where all living things reflect your glory. You give us this great and beautiful earth to discover and to cherish. I'll say it again. Lord of all life, you created the universe where all living things reflect your glory. You give us this great and beautiful earth to discover and to cherish. What lovely, lovely words to say in our communion service. In 2 weeks' time, the United Nations Climate Change Conference is going to happen in Glasgow. And you'll probably hear about it in the news, and you'll probably hear them calling it COP26. I had to go and look it up to see what the COP stood for. I knew it was a United Nations climate change conference, but why are they calling it COP26? Apparently it stands for Conference of the Parties. And it's COP26 because for 26 years, the UN has been bringing together almost every country for a global climate summit. And our leaders and all those who are attending this climate summit have a huge responsibility. So I sort of feel like we need to pray for our world leaders who are attending this conference in 2 weeks' time. We need to pray that they will honour the agreements that were made 5 years ago in Paris when they said they wanted to keep emissions down and to keep global warming below 1.5 degrees. It's all very important stuff. In fact, people are saying that this is the best chance the world has to get hold of the runaway climate change, to try and get it under control. So yesterday afternoon, it was a huge privilege for me to meet a whole lot of people in Lyme Regis who'd gathered together from all the churches for an event that was called Rise Up in Concern for Creation. And it was really good to see some of the Golden Cap team there. It was a lovely, lovely gathering, and I was so pleased to see so many people there. There was about 50 people there in the shelters on the seafront, raising our awareness about climate change and what we could do. So you probably won't be able to see this because it'd be round the wrong way, but we began by thanking God for our wonderful world. And then we listened to a reading from Job, and I'll read it in a second. I do like Job. Job, we always seem to go to the creation stories in Genesis, the two creation stories in Genesis when God created the world. But there's another one in Job, and maybe this is something for another midweek message. But there's a wonderful bit in Job when Job is a bit cross. God's a bit cross with Job and says, "Where were you when I created the world?" And it talks about snow, and it talks about chaos and chaos monsters, having great fun in the sea. But that's a story for another time. What I want to read to you is the bit that they read in that gathering, in the event, the service that we had yesterday. I'm going to read it from the Message version, and this is Job 12, and I'm beginning at verse 7. But ask the animals what they think. Let them teach you. Let the birds tell you what's going on. Put your ear to the earth. Learn the basics. Listen, the fish in the ocean will tell you their stories. Isn't it clear? They all know and agree that God is sovereign and he holds all things in his hand. Every living soul, yes, every breathing creature. Isn't this all just common sense? As common as the sense of taste. Do you think the elderly have a corner on wisdom? That you have to grow old before you understand life? That's from the Message, and it's Job chapter 12. It sort of struck me. Do you think the elderly have a corner on wisdom? That you have to grow old before you understand life? It's our young people that keep telling us that we have to do something, and we have to do something now. They worry that it's all talk and no action. So in the next 2 weeks, I think we really need to pray for our leaders who are attending the climate conference, that they will be able to put words into action. So I'm going to finish by a prayer that they finished with yesterday on the seafront. I don't think St. Francis wrote this, but it's still a great prayer. May God bless you with discomfort about easy answers, half-truths, and superficial relationships, so that you may seek truth boldly and love deep within your heart. May God bless you with holy anger at injustice, oppression, and exploitation of people, so that you may tirelessly work for justice, freedom, and peace among all people. May God bless you with the gift of tears to shed for those who suffer from pain, rejection, starvation, or the loss of all that they cherish, so that you may reach out your hand to comfort them and transform their pain to joy. And may God bless you with enough foolishness to believe that you really can make a difference in the world, so that you are able, with God's grace, to do what others claim cannot be done. Amen. Please pray over the next 2 weeks for our leaders who are attending the climate conference. They need our prayers to help us to take action. Thanks for listening. It'd be lovely to meet you. Please do come and tell me your name if you see me out and about. You might have to tell me 2 or 3 times, but I'm really looking forward to meeting everybody in the Golden Cap team.